Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, January the 14th, 2021. It's another Tech Me Alpha podcast. We got another great show lined up for you today. Welcome to everyone. Hopefully you're having a good one, a safe one, and one with as little national news coverage as humanly possible. We got some good stuff to talk about today, but before we do, the most important question of each and every week that I wait patiently to ask, because at this point, Jeff and I's relationship is see each other on the podcast for 2 hours, and then I occasionally watch him play Rust. Mr. Black, how was your week?
Been another week. has been that.
Have you mastered installing cabinets yet?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm yeah. We've done that.
HGTV special coming soon.
Not quite, but yeah, everything is almost done. I'm waiting for the countertops to show up on the 18th, so I picked those up, and then tomorrow we start the backsplash, and then that'll take us like a day and a half because we got to do 3 kitchens. So yeah, we're starting that tomorrow night, and then either Saturday or Sunday we're just gonna like do it all day. Everything else is done. All the appliances are in, although we have to get one replaced because the delivery guy really messed up one of them, but it's on back order, so we're gonna have to use that one until the new one comes.
Wait, dude, fucking drop kick it to the moon or something?
Well, I told them, I think I said this on the other podcast. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just telling them my stream, but we had 3 fridges delivered, and it's a triplex with 3 levels. So I told the guy, I said, put each fridge in the middle of the living room, because at the time we were gutting the kitchens and there just wasn't room in there to put in the appliances while we're in there working. So they ended up putting all 3 in the living room, but one of them they put up against a wall, and the other 2 they just left in the middle, which I was like, why would they do that? I was like, I have no idea, but they were struggling pretty hard to get that fridge up on the top floor. So when I get there and we actually went to go and move the fridge into the kitchen, as we were moving it from the wall, the whole side of it was dented, bubbling, scratched up. So they fucked up a side of the fridge and then tried to cover it by putting the fucked up side against the wall.
Wait, how long did they think that ruse was going to fucking last? Literally as long as you taking it off the wall.
Exactly. Well, the thing is you have to report any damage within 48 hours or they assume that it was your fault. So I think that they were trying to hope that I wouldn't move the fridge for a couple of days so that we wouldn't notice. But I obviously wanted to check it over as soon as I got there. And lo and behold, boom, this thing is messed up. So I got a call today saying that the fridge is now on back order. I could be waiting like a month and a half, 2 months to get this fridge because COVID and everything is all backed up. So basically I get to use this fridge until the new one shows up. When the new one shows up, they'll take the old one and put in the new one.
Holy shit.
So anyway, yeah.
Sounds like those boys need to get like some proper moving straps to carry a fridge up a set of stairs.
Exactly. So
sounds like they dropped that bitch on the stairs.
Yep.
And just dented that up. Oh, well.
So yeah, other than that, they're putting in a new power pole and line and all that other stuff at the end of the month. And then it'll be done. I should be fully done all renos next week, and then it'll just be waiting for the power company to come in and change the service line so that we can hook everything up so that the breakers don't like short circuit. There's just too much. We added too much stuff in each unit.
That is useful.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't rent it out until the new power's in there. So probably won't be able to get people in until mid-February, but everything will be done this month.
That's not too bad. I'd say all things considered, the schedule has been
it's been
very,
good.
very tight.
Yeah,
it's been a successful run. Good stuff. And I hear that you've had I heard not just today. I mean, anything that happens in your stream, I find out immediately if I am also streaming. There's like at least 4 or 5 people that feel it necessary to give me a John Madden play-by-play of everything that happens on your stream. And so I know ahead of time. But you were playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I broke today.
Okay.
You know?
So it took less than 48 hours.
Yeah, I was playing with Nathanius yesterday.
Okay.
And
yeah, he's been in on
know,
it for a while too now.
Yeah. So, I've been waiting for this new version of No Pixel to come out. So, like, basically, I've been in like streamer limbo right now, which I absolutely fucking hate. So I'm like, you know what do I play? Do I play a little bit of Rust? I know people want to see me play Rust, but I'm just not vibing with it all that much. And I'll play Biz StarCraft. I was like, you know what? Let's scratch the League of Legends itch. Nathanius is playing it. I guess I'll play. So I played with him yesterday. We got our asses kicked for the majority of the day. And when I say our asses kicked, I mean people just, bitched and complained and left and did all the stuff that you do in League of Legends, where I think we played probably 8 games and I personally may have had like one bad game and then like one game where I wasn't really just like pulling my weight. You know what I mean? Everything else is just like I'm fucking people up. You know the drill. This is League of Legends. This is what it is. And so I play again today. And today I got the warm up out of the way yesterday. Today I'm messing people up today. I'm fucking them dry all day. And when I say all day, for like 2.5 hours or whatever it was before we started this. And I'm losing every fucking game from people that are just, anyway, I hate the game. Like I hate it so much. I hate it. And I want to love it. Like there's like, I want like deep down inside.
It's really the community,
there's a competent
bro.
game in there. There's a game in there somewhere.
Yes.
But it is just, it's covered in just toxic garbage. And I mean, it's not even just that anymore. Now there's 50,000 champions. Every time I install the game, there's 8 new champions. And the thing is they all are the fucking same, but they're different. They all look the same. And then you've got such drastic skins so they can make money off skins that old champions don't even look like the champions anymore. They look like other champions. And it's confusing as fuck. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. So anyway, fuck that game.
Yeah.
Fuck that game.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
God,
we already talked about it ages ago, but I had my run in around Worlds, like I always do, like every year, the league itch when Worlds has happened or whatever the fuck. And I hopped on. I got bronze placement for the first time in my life. And it's because of people just straight up leaving the game, being down 5-on-4, and there's nothing you can do but just fucking go. And coincidentally, we won 1 or 2 of those 5-on-4s because the other people on the other team were also like infighting. Like it remains the greatest example of you will do better if you play a mediator than you will if you actually raw dog everyone on the other team.
Yep.
You do better if you can play a psychiatrist.
Yep.
And work everyone through their weird fucking sweaty neckbeard problems, their degenerate, like masturbatory, anime-obsessed neckbeard problems, where if they don't get a champion or they don't get a lane or they don't get whatever or they die in the first like 45 seconds and like everything's just coming down around them like their life is about to...
They don't get a leash.
There's and everything is always the fault of somebody else. It is incredible. That's what League of Legends is. And it's not really the game's fault. It's just the community that's built up around it. It's a free-to-play game, so you get a lot of younger players, people without a lot of money. They'll buy skins and shit, but they're the people that will get in on the ground floor are people that are just looking to play some shit. They can't decide if they want to take ranks seriously or not. It's usually they only take it seriously when they're playing well, and when they're not playing well, then they're telling everyone else to don't take it so seriously. It's just a game. And the meta changes that Riot occasionally makes, which are the game is balanced either by a team of geniuses or collectively 4.5 brain cells rubbing together to create smoke and spark an idea at any given time, because the game is so imbalanced, and the champions they released are often so fucked, and they, like you said, now the problem is there's so many that a lot of them are basically the same, but you have champions that are newer, that are literally the old champions, but better. And it completely makes the old ones irrelevant. And it fucks the balance out the ass. Yep. And like there are a couple of champions, like when I played, like Pike, for example. You can't let him have like 2 kills or he runs the game. And it's not like you have to be skilled. You can literally 1v5 with almost no effort and no items. And so there's a little bit of the developer's fault, right? We're like, hey, you know, we don't know what the fuck we're doing with balance here, but fuck it, just YOLO. Everyone's gonna play our game anyway. We don't care. We're always right anyway because everyone still plays. And then the community that plays it is just, honest to God, it's the worst community in gaming, and it's held that title for like almost a decade, and it doesn't show any signs of stopping. And I think a lot of that too is because they don't really do anything to like curtail that at all. They just let that shit go. And I think that's mostly because the people that own and run Riot Games are also children. So, and we've seen that in stuff we've talked about here on the podcast before, so that's not surprising. But it sucks, because you want to like it. You want to play it, because there's a good, fun game in there.
Yep.
But that's why you only last like 2 days, and then you bounce the fuck out for another calendar year. And then you go back.
So true.
You need an entire year to recuperate.
Yeah. You almost need to forget how bad it is before you'll play it again, and then you realize very quickly how bad it is. And then you need to go away and forget.
Yeah.
So
there you go, League of Legends. My week wasn't particularly exciting. Well, the most exciting part, I guess, is that Dad's back is fine now, for the most part. So he's taken back up with Nan. So I had one day where I slept for possibly a week. I don't know how long I slept, but it was a long time. I just like today, I think is like probably the last day where I'm trying to play catch up, where I went to bed at like 1. I woke up at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I think I've kind of caught up. I'm a little groggy now because I overslept for sure, but we're back on track there. And then, working on the website, redesign, that's really, yesterday was a big step for that. That came along. I had a day where I did 17 hours, and then yesterday I did 16 hours. 12 hours of that was on the website, and the 17 was the full on the website, and that was mostly it. So we got the design coming along. We know what we're going to build it on. Nikki's excited. I'm excited. We got a whole bunch of new features for the site this time around because we're not going to be relying on WordPress. Everything is going to be a big step up and a complete rebrand. So it's going to be separate from my Twitch shit entirely. I was so tired of seeing my brand on like absolutely everything, because if I want to do anything with the site, it's like perpetually just tied to me as an individual, and I didn't want it to just be me as an individual, because it just doesn't come across as like warcouncilgaming.com sounds like a fucking like World of Warcraft.
Well, what's the new name?
The new name's Critical Hit.
Critical Hit.
But the second C is a Q, like critique.
Oh.
Huh?
I see what you did there. Okay.
Critical Hit.
Okay, Critical Hit.
Yeah. So it's Critical Hit like a gaming thing. It's Critical Hit like the gaming vernacular, but then it's Critical Hit like if a movie does well or a game does well, it's what? It's a critical hit.
Ooh.
And then the Q in there instead, it's critique with critical hit. It's like an Eminem verse, but in a fucking.
I see what you did there. There.
So that's the new brand, Critical Hit. So yeah, it's good, new colors and everything. Feels good to get away from having war in the fucking name too. I was so tired of that shit. And if I could do it on Twitch too, I'd do it. But whatever fucking like 5 viewers I still have, they'd be confused as shit and be like, where did Nova War go? It's like a fucking baby before they have object permanence. It's like you're playing peekaboo. It's like, where did Dad go? Oh, there he is. Like that, if I took war out of my name, suddenly people would be like, ah! So at least I can do it with the website. So anyway,
where's Nova StarCraft at?
Where's Nova StarCraft at? So at least that's going well. And then other than that, in my like scant gameplay time, I've just been playing Genshin Impact. I continue to have a good time with that. For whatever it's worth, the community. There's a lot of people in the community playing it as well, and we all just kind of play together when we have a chance, and it's been good. But yeah, that's it. That's my week, and now it's time to talk about So video games! CD Projekt Red, Jeff. I don't know if you know this, but they put out a pretty big video game not long ago. It's called Cyberpunk 2077. And unfortunately, that video game wasn't finished. And even if it was finished, it don't work. It don't work like it's supposed to for most people. It's been about a month and a couple of days since it's arrived, and it's been nothing but a firestorm for CD Projekt Red since it's come out. Sony took them off their fucking store. They're still not back on the Sony storefront. It's been weeks now, and they're still not on the storefront. So their sales are obviously not what they would have been otherwise. To this point, we don't still know yet how many people refunded the game. So we don't even know how much of the initial sales were clawed back. Probably a lot. We watched as their stock price plummeted after the release. We know that there were multiple class action lawsuits in process in multiple countries. And it's just a bad time all around. Just a really terrible time. So, as you would expect, they moved really quickly, and it took them an entire month for their co-founder to come out and make a video, Jeff. They waited until literally the world was around their it just waited on their shoulders and everything was on fire. Then he came out to talk. Which is exactly why I don't take a fucking word of this video seriously. It's horse shit. He doesn't even 100% take blame. He like kind of does up front, then he shifts it off onto other people. It was bad. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, if it popped up on your timeline or anything like that, but it's one of the co-founders of CD Projekt Red.
I didn't watch it.
So it's I'll go over it here because I got some notes for it just for that reason. So Poland. So first of all, preface this: Poland, which is where CD Projekt Red is located. That's the company is Polish. So Poland's Office of Competition and Consumer Protection begins their own investigation into how all of this transpired and what they're planning. And when I say they, I mean CD Projekt Red. What they're planning to do to correct it for consumers who were, according to them, pretty wildly misled, which is everyone but CD Projekt Red admitting that people were pretty wildly misled by this. Just yesterday, this is the video I was talking about, CD Projekt Red co-founder Marcin Iwinski posted a video on social media apologizing for what has happened, tried to explain how it happened, and provided some information on the timeline, or on a timeline, for fixes and updates. And then I have ellipses, sort of, because there's several asterisks attached to those bullet points there. First up, he said that, I'll say this up front, basically in the video like I mentioned. They kind of owned up by saying, don't blame the developers themselves. The board members, myself and the board, are the ones that ultimately made the decision to put the game out. So it's our fault that the game went out as it did. Our development team are rock stars. They do a great job making games. It's our choice to decide when the game goes out. So he did that, and then as soon as he said that, he spent the rest of the video. So he dug himself a nice little hole, like he's burying himself as he should, and then he spent the rest of the video building a ladder to climb back out of the fucking hole by throwing everyone else under the bus.
Well, you don't want to end with him saying,
you want the last thing to remember being somebody else's fault.
Exactly.
So he led with that shit.
Yep.
Fucking flipped it around.
Hope that you forgot it. It was like playing League of Legends. Jan installed, and a year has gone by now, and he's just hoping you forgot what he just said at the beginning, and so that you just go and reinstall it.
So he and I did forget to post export. I'll post it here after I'm done this segment here. So he says that, and I was like, okay. I watched this on the stream. I was like, okay, all right. We accepted some responsibility. Good job. You did it. But then he immediately goes on to say how the QA team, or their internal testing, did not catch most of the bugs and issues that the consumers are currently coming up against right now. Which is basically throwing their QA team under the bus immediately. Now, I refuse to fucking believe that a QA team of any skill level, because they don't even have to be QA. They could have handed that shit to literally anyone. They play that game for a half hour, and they're going to find most of the shit that happened for most people in this game. This is the biggest crock of shit. If you're going to tell me that your QA team or you or anyone else internally at CD Projekt Red that played this game didn't catch any of these bugs, that's actually, I feel like that's worse than just lying to me. Because now what it means is that you're so incompetent, you've managed to miss arguably the most myriad bug-laden game in the last 5-6 years coming out of a AAA company. That's even worse. So why you would even say that at all is fucking weird to me. But he said it. So he throws the QA team under the fucking bus. And then he goes on to say, but look, guys, the PC version we are still very proud of, and it's doing very well. It's not, but he said it. Then he goes on and says, hey, we have a lot of work to do. And originally, we were going to release our free DLC in the not too distant future, but we're going to have to push that back to make this the game experience that you guys deserve. And so they throw up a roadmap. And I don't know if you clicked on that roadmap, Jeff, but it's the typical CD Projekt Red retina burning yellow background that they refuse to fucking walk away from.
I hate yellow now.
That yellow specifically,
yeah, it's
I never want to see it again. Every time that yellow pops, I don't know why they do it. Nobody has a positive reaction to it because it's like PTSD now. Every time they put up like a fucking picture on social media with that yellow background and the black text, people are like, "Uh-oh, what happened?" They need to move the fuck away from that yellow background. But that fucking yellow comes out, and I got this timeline on it, and I want you to look at that timeline or that roadmap. Now, most roadmaps include two things, Jeff. And this is just my rudimentary understanding of roadmaps, and maybe I'm just ignorant, but they usually include things like milestones, and then the dates in which those milestones are supposed to be reached. All right, now I want you to squint as hard as you can, because I know it's already hard to look at this yellow. I pulled it up on a secondary monitor, it changed the white balance on my fucking camera. That is how yellow this fucking picture is. I want you to look at that picture and tell me, other than the years 2021... and 2022, if there is a single fucking date anywhere on that timeline.
No, doesn't exist.
If I had to wager a guess.
Okay, all right. Based on the distance between where 2021 is and 2022, where is the first free DLC coming?
Okay, so I think patch 1.1 looks to be coming in perhaps at the end of January.
Okay. No.
Okay, so yeah, end of this month. And then I think patch 1.2 will come mid-February.
Okay.
Late February. Then we've got March, April. DLC, first free DLC, I'm going to go with May.
Okay.
June, July, August, September. I'm thinking September or October, probably closer to October for free next-gen console update.
Okay. That's
and
about...
Then,
and then
you've got the gap there. The rest of the... Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, like... and that works until you look at the time scale from release, which was in December 10th, and then you see how far between release and 2021.
Yeah.
Now you don't. So, that's kind of ambiguous, right?
Now I don't know
because
there's no natural scaling there, right?
There's like 5 months worth of fucking space between release and 2021, but that was only like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't tell you.
So what we know now is sometime in 2021, some free DLC is going to happen. Sometime in 2021, patch 1.1 and 1.2 is going to happen. And at some point in 2021, you're going to get the free next-gen console update, as if they were going to make you pay for the console update anyway, but it's good to put free on there because we need all the fucking clout we can get. Holy shit. So there you go. And it says at the bottom, expect more information in the upcoming months. So, whatever that fucking means. So they put that bad boy up there. We have no idea what any of that fucking means. We just know that we already knew all of those things were happening, All they did was put the things that we already knew that were happening loosely on a fucking like line graph and called it a roadmap. So that's, you know who even does roadmaps better than that? Star Citizen. Even Star Citizen does roadmaps better than that, and they do roadmaps to the roadmaps. Should have been paying attention to the boys over at Star Citizen. So, other than that, he spent a good chunk of the video discussing how they overscoped on the game. The scope was too large.
Yeah.
And that was the video. It was basically an admission followed by walking that admission back over the course of the rest of the video, sprinkled in with, oops, we made the game bigger than we should have. And so
is the game even that big?
Okay, so when he says scope, we're not talking about the actual size of the game per se, because there are games that are bigger than Cyberpunk. Like GTA 5, which came out sometime before your child was born, and then add several years to that. Okay, so GTA 5 been out for a long time. Okay? And it's bigger than 2077. The problem that they ran into is that they tried to do no real loading zones, and they tried to stream everything through the engine. And that's the biggest problem on the old consoles, is that they're not fast enough to make that happen. That's the majority of the problem. Because if you look at, even on PC, even on my PC, so 32 gigs of RAM, DDR4 RAM, 32 gigs of RAM, 2080 Ti, overclocked, 12-thread processor. It still runs barely serviceable. And to make that worse, the amount of people that are like the NPCs that walk around are not that many. And if you turn and then turn back around, they're gone. Or you turn around and turn back, all of a sudden there's like 6 of them. They loop things. There's a clip I've got that I called the Angry Italian spot, where outside of a diner during one of the story beats early on in the game, there is a spot right outside the diner, right next to a fence and a set of stairs. And NPCs will walk up to the spot, take out a phone, do angry Italian hand motions, walk away, and then inside of 30 seconds, another random NPC will take that spot, take out their phone, angry Italian, move on, rinse, and repeat. And it doesn't stop. It's never ending. There is no AI governing anything. It's not like Radiant AI and like Elder Scrolls where like at least some NPCs have like pathing things or like what they're doing throughout the world. There's none of that shit. They're just randomly generating NPCs, throwing them in, and they have 30-second cycles of like angry Italian simulars. Or Shady found another one where it's a pissing spot, where people will just walk up, take their dick out, and piss on the ground, and then walk away, and then another person takes their place and pisses on the ground. So, like, the scope of the game in that sense is not big. It's nothing special, in all honesty. It's really not. The map is pretty big, and it looks pretty good, for sure, but it's not huge. The main storyline isn't that long, and most of the side quests are pretty standard fare. So, the scope, I think when he says scope, I think honestly, the bigger problem is that their engine was not up to the task of going from The Witcher 3 to what they're trying to do with Cyberpunk, especially with the streaming of all this information in game. And then tack onto that they tried to also switch an entire genre and input all of these crazy new combat mechanics. Like, going from The Witcher to a first-person shooter is, like, fucking wild, which explains why the first-person shooting in that game is ass. And most of the combat is ass and overly complex for, like, upgrade paths and shit. and you get like item hoarding where the items basically are useless and they do absolutely nothing, but yet they all have individual like stats and shit. And it's messy. It's very messy. So I think when he's saying scope, what's better in the terms of scope, it's more of they just try to do too much that's too different from what they're used to and cram it into an engine that was not made for doing what Cyberpunk tried to accomplish. Because if you handed the idea, let's say, to Rockstar and said, I want to make Cyberpunk 2077 and you can use your engine, and they went and made it, it would literally take wild, manic, fucking ferocious shits all over this steaming, heaping pile of fuckery that is the supposed quadruple A CD Projekt Red version of Cyberpunk 2077. The characters would be written just as well. The voice acting would be just as good or better on average in a Rockstar game production. The world would be bigger. The stories would be better. The side quests would likely actually have meaningful fucking implications and character building, where this game is just whatever. It would dump all over it. So this is a story of a developer that had a pocket with The Witcher, tried to go too far out of that pocket.
Bit off more than he could chew, man. Bit off more than he could chew.
Now
That's
he's
what
come.
that was.
Now he's come out, and now he's doing his thing. He admitted, and then he said, "Fuck the QA team." So we'll wait and see. There's a lot going on here with how they're getting on with like the class actions, and now this Polish office of competition, etc. So we'll wait and see what comes out of that. But all the same, yikes! You know what's less yikes, Jeff? Well, slightly more yikes, but then a better yikes at the same time. Electronic Arts has had the exclusive license to Star Wars games for a decade. If you don't remember that happen, they had it for a decade. That's a long time to hold a powerful license like Star Wars. That is a highly sought after license. What did they do with that license in 10 years? Not much. We had the Battlefront game that came out where they spent most of their time trying to fix it, and by the time they fixed it, the player base was basically already gone. And then we had Battlefront 2, which was kind of like here and gone. The best that's come out of it was like Squadrons, I guess, is like the most recent. I think that was still under EA. But they've really not done a hell of a lot in 10 years. That's over now. Because they have resurrected Lucasfilm Games, which hasn't, that's some shit that had been around for a long time in any major capacity. Lucasfilm Games come back and all of their IP that they had and everything, like the licenses for stuff like Star Wars and others, which I'll get to here in a moment, are now being distributed a bit differently. For example, EA failed to do one of their major Star Wars projects that was teased I think it was an E3, and then it failed to happen. There was a date attached to it or some shit, or a number attached to it. I can't remember. I think that's the title that they were referring to here. Anyway, they're handing this shit off, and now Ubisoft Massive is taking over. That's the group that is behind what's it called? The fucking, I think I have it in my notes here. Division. That's the one I'm looking for. So the Division. So that team is taking over now. It's in early development. And as you can imagine, it's probably going to be similar to the Division, open world action, whatever kind of game, Star Wars universe. So EA has completely lost its exclusivity deal with Star Wars. Is now being handed off to various people, and that's good news. Also random news with the Lucasfilm game studio is that Bethesda came out and announced that one of their teams, Machine Games, which are the guys behind Wolfenstein, the newer Wolfensteins, is now developing Indiana Jones.
I saw that, yeah.
An Indiana Jones game. Now, one would imagine almost instantly that means we have Uncharted, the Indiana Jones story coming, because that's almost certainly what's going to be. Because, I mean, Uncharted is Indiana Jones. So, it's one property imitating another property, and then the other property. It's like they've come full circle. We've got an Uncharted movie coming, and now we got an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jane is actually coming soon to get women involved, but Indiana Jones video game. So look, if there's one thing that this developer has proven is that they are really good at making games about killing Nazis. And what is one thing that Indiana Jones does? That motherfucker deals with Nazis. He also runs from boulders and other such things, and avoids shitting himself on set by shortening the entire scene, pulling the gun on the guy, which is still one of my favorite movie fun facts. But there you go. Now, I'm hoping we get a disgruntled Harrison Ford as the voice actor for Indy.
I highly doubt that.
It's probably not gonna happen, but you gotta hope. The only real downside to this, I don't like. I only recently started watching the Indiana Jones movies. It's one of the biggest film series that I never really watched, and I just started because M loves them, so we've been watching them. I'll fucks with an Indiana Jones game, sure. If it's like Uncharted or we're getting like Tomb Raider type shit, I mean, we know that genre of the action adventure game can be done very well, and there's a formulaic kind of deal to it, but they still churn out really good games. And why not use Indiana Jones?
Yeah,
I'll fuck with it.
I think that's cool. And I think the Star Wars game that they were talking about is going to be an open world one. So
yeah, and that would make sense because again, the developer behind it is the guys making The Division. And The Division is an open world, like it's not an MMO, but it's like an instanced multiplayer game. And so that's their wheelhouse. And they're using the engine that they used for The Division for this game. So that's almost like a guaranteed now open world. And open world Star Wars sounds pretty dope to me. I'm in. Give me that. Like and they're good. They do tactical combat too. So what was the one that was on the Xbox that was really fucking dope? That was the Republic Commando? Was that it? I think it was Republic Commando on the Xbox. You might even have a copy back there somewhere. But
I might.
But it was super dope and it was like a tactical shooter. Having that kind of gameplay done by them within the Star Wars universe seems like the perfect marriage. And that would be pretty fucking awesome if we get something like that for sure. The one joke that I had to make though, because I just fucking can't stand the guy. Unfortunately, Todd Howard is the executive producer on the Indiana Jones game.
Got to get that leather bomber in.
I had to get the joke every time.
This time with a whip.
Except it's the Indiana Jones leather bomber jacket with the whip. It's coming. Next public appearance, I swear to fuck, Todd Howard is going out on stage in an Indiana 100%. Jones jacket. A fucking 100%.
Oh yeah.
Old Toddy boy. As long as he doesn't get his hands on the shit and he's just kind of there just for clout. Whatever clout Todd fucking Howard has at this point.
I don't know if he's got much clout these days, but okay.
We'll see how it all pans out. Bowser's Fury got some gameplay. We talked about that the other week, where it's kind of the addition to the previous existing Mario game that's going to be the limited release before going away on, what was it, March 31st or whatever, where Nintendo's nuking like every fucking game from orbit. But yeah, they showed gameplay off for that. It looked really good. Looked fantastic. Kind of a mature theme. Bowser looking real menacing. Massive fire and shit coming out of fucking every orifice. Some dope music. It's good Mario. Like, when's the last time they made a bad Mario game? So this is probably also going to be a good Mario game. If you're waiting for that shit. So I'm sure many of you have already seen it, but if you haven't, go check it out. Very promising. Nintendo continuing to be one of the few companies that properly does gameplay videos of their games. Like, so many companies just do like these fucking canned gameplay videos. When Nintendo says gameplay reveal, you're seeing some fucking gameplay. Somebody is legitimately playing the fucking video game 9 times out of 10.
This is because Nintendo just operates differently.
They're built different.
Nintendo is that wealthy guy or girl that doesn't need to buy anything flashy, that'll just go out in just normal sweats or whatever you're wearing. They don't give a fuck what other people think. I'm sure they do to it, like what their fans think, but as in like they ain't putting on a show. There ain't no smoke screens with Nintendo.
They also know that they're hot shit. Like they know when they put out gameplay. They know. They know.
Like that's the thing, right? So like, you know, they'll walk into a, you know, to a dealership or, you know, to a wherever, a jewelry store. And people, you know, if your other gaming console, your Xbox, your Sony, you know, and
you're
Sony
putting on fancy suits, you're trying to look good. You got like you're buying like jewelry you can't afford to make it look like you're important and fancy.
Exactly.
But then you get Nintendo, natural smoke show showing up in like fucking whatever the hell.
Whatever. And the thing is when they walk in, people take them serious. They know that, like, I'm not going to waste their time. They're not going to waste my time. They're in here to buy and purchase. And in this case, they're in here to show off a game. There ain't no like, you know, this was generated in real, you know,
in engine, real time in engine.
No, it's just like, listen, we got a game. We got some footage. We want to show you guys it. And they're showing it because they're confident. They're confident. When they pull down their pants and people see their cock, they know
they got that big dick energy.
Yeah, they're packing. They don't care if they just got out of the ocean and went for a swim in a cold lake.
It's not the pleating in the pants, Jeff.
No, they don't care, bro. They release shit like you woke up one night and you got a hard on and you had an extra half inch and you're just stoked about this half a extra inch. You're like, bitch, look at my extra half inch. You feeling that? I bet you feeling that extra half. I bet you feeling it.
And she's just going to say yes to make you feel better.
Exactly. Nintendo's permanently in this, like, I've got an extra half inch. And like, it doesn't matter the circumstance. When they come out to fuck, they're fucking.
Yes.
And people are liking it.
Mario fucks.
I fucks with Mario. Big time. Like you said, when was the last time they made a bad Mario game? When was the last time Nintendo took one of their largest franchises and really shit on it?
I think, honest to God, I think Sunshine was the closest to a game where people went, this ain't Mario. That's probably the last time I can remember. And it wasn't even a bad game.
It's not even a bad game. It's like, it's a fun game to play. Like, you go back and you appreciate it now. Like, the closest thing is like Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's kind of divisive, but
still a good game.
Loved it. It's still a good game. It's just not what people, I mean, at the end of the day, Nintendo knows what Nintendo knows. And they know that they don't play these fucking games. They don't play the tabloid games. They don't play the what ifs, the half truths, the it's ready. Oh, I'm sorry it wasn't ready, because they never put themselves in a CD Projekt Red position. They release a game and it's complete and it's good and it's solid and it's worth your money. It's either you like it, it's either you like that type of game or you don't. And if you don't buy it. But the ones that buy these things, they don't go, man, God damn it, that game sucked. They didn't. When was the last time I heard this from Nintendo? It's super rare. I mean, there's obviously going to be people that don't like certain things, but it is super rare to hear a large collective amount of people buy a Nintendo game and then go, oh man, I'm just this game was awful. It was a buggy fuck show. It's unplayable. I can't do this. It doesn't exist.
Buggy hasn't been a word I've associated with a Nintendo game in a really long time. Like, you might get like one or two like little hitchy things, but it ain't fucking Cyberpunk 2077. I tell you that much. If somebody go, oh well, you don't see Nintendo making games that big, but I fucking promise you, if Nintendo decided tomorrow that they were going to make a game as big as Cyberpunk 2077, I fucking promise you, if they made fucking Cyber Mario 2083, I promise you that shit would be fire.
Oh, it would.
And it wouldn't be broken.
Yep.
It would be fun, and it would run on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
somehow
it would run. And here's the thing: the reason why they won't do it is because they know their lane.
Yes,
they know their lane. CD Projekt Red didn't know their lane. They had a lane.
They had it.
Everybody was on that. Nobody. There was no car crash. There's nothing.
Bro, they didn't switch one lane at a time. They're that asshole on a 4-lane highway that switches all 3 lanes in one fucking motion. They don't go, one, two. They went, fuck it, left blinker on.
They went all the way.
Whole
and they didn't
way
even
across.
Check the blind spot, bro. They didn't even check the blind. They just went.
Fuck everyone else.
Hopefully my car will scream at me when I'm about to hit something because I'm just going right now. That's what CD Projekt Red did, along with 95% of publishers these days in like the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years. They're all the same. It's all this. It's all hype. It's all word of mouth. And then when the game comes out, they're like, oops. Oh, there'll be patches. Don't worry, guys. We'll make it better. And then by that time, there's something else that's out, and people already forgot about it. And then they'll go in there, and some do make it right, and then some just never do. And CD Projekt Red, they stuck their dick in crazy. They hyped everybody up. They got Keanu Reeves. They did all the right things. They used their good name to win over everybody. Same Star Citizen did the exact same thing. They used a guy's good name and track record to create this overly hyped fucking world that people want to get lost in, and it's going to be the next Grand Theft Auto, but in the futuristic, man, there's only one Grand Theft Auto. There's a reason why Rockstar comes out with one Grand Theft Auto per decade, is because when it comes out, it's a game.
Bro, Grand Theft Auto 5 is still in the top 10 sale games.
Yes.
Or sold games in 2020.
Today, yes. Isn't that fucking crazy? Isn't that crazy?
And people are like, oh, no, you see, CD Projekt, you just gotta give them a chance, bro. They just haven't got a bit. Or like, oh, they were running on old consoles. Have you played some of the fucking epic-sized games on PS4? Red Dead fucking Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. And you want to talk about pretty games with open worlds and shit that run still well? And you're going to say, oh, but Cyberpunk. Fuck yourself. It's, oh, but CD Projekt Red and Keanu Reeves. They literally sold a game based on Keanu Reeves' involvement. Let that sink in.
That's it.
How fucking wild is that? You got to give it up to their marketing team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's their marketing team and is what made the money. And then they just let us do the hyping. They just let the world run rampant.
I got hype. I saw Keanu Reeves. I was like, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. Of course. So it is what it is. So, yeah, congrats, Nintendo.
Good job,
Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo does. They're just going to keep they're just going to keep winning. They're just going to keep winning. When my son is 10 years old, 12 years old, he's going to be having a Nintendo handheld console, and the games are going to be just as fire as they are now, as they will be then. And the thing is me as like a fucking going on 50 years old, when that shit happens,
you're still fucking with Mario.
I'm going to be like, dude, this game's pretty fucking dope.
It's literally going to be Cyber Mario 2083, and you're going to be playing that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's Mario. It's just how it is. Mr. Black, Razer is getting into all sorts of crazy shit. They put out a crazy-ass fucking gaming chair with a wraparound monitor that looked like a high chair for obese people. And now they've got this. Razer's getting into the mask game. Razer's one of the companies that apparently, when COVID kicked up, they kicked over some of their operations to produce masks when they were at a shortage. And in the process, at some point, somebody said, why don't we just take all of our RGB shit and throw it onto a mask and sell it for like $300? And somebody internally said, damn it! We're doing it! And so here we are. It's called, what's it called? Project something? Project Hazel. They're saying it's N95. They're waiting for the regulatory bodies to actually give it the green light to have that rating on the mask, N95. But it is a mask with a plastic front, so that with anti-fog, so that you can still see people speaking and their facial expressions underneath the mask, etc., etc. And then it's dual vented, like some shit out of Mad Max or whatever. You got dual vents on either side, but the trick to the dual vents is that they are bi-directional filtered, so it's not single direction like a normal N95 with a valve. N95 with a valve that you would buy somewhere, it's filtered in, but it's not filtered on what what you're blowing out. These are bi-directional for obvious reasons. If you also have COVID, you're asymptomatic, the idea is you want to filter what's going out to reduce the chance of infecting somebody else. And then add to that, of course, they've got in those filters, they've got speakers to amplify your voice. So when you're trying to talk to the lady at the Kinko's and she's behind a fucking plexiglass window and you're saying, I want 5 copies, and she says, you want 6 copies? What? Like your voice should go through the mask and be amplified. And then, of course, the most key ingredient to any Razer product is RGB lights. All up in that shit. So you too can look like a cyber goth from 2003 while you're filtering all the air that you breathe and expel.
Listen, if I can't have Bane voice, I ain't buying it.
That's just it, right? Voice modulator, you can't get on that shit. What are you doing? But you know what the dumbest part about this mask is? Well, I mean, there's 2 things that are particularly dumb. Maybe even 3. Well, it's probably more than that, but I'll go with 3. Step 1. Vented masks are banned almost everywhere important. Now, that's because most vented masks, like I mentioned, are only single direction filter and not on the exhale. So they're banned for that reason. Good luck explaining to the person at the restaurant or the Best Buy or the fucking airport or wherever, the employee that's just there doing their fucking job, where on their paper it says no vents allowed. Good luck explaining to them that you're fancy.
You'd have to have N95. You'd have to have N95 on the mask.
That doesn't mean anything. It's the vent is the problem. You can get N95 masks that aren't ventilated. Like the surgical masks you see doctors wear and things like that. You get N95 without a vent. The vent is just to make it easier to breathe for the person wearing the mask. Because an N95 properly fitted, as Kayla would tell you, is sealed to your fucking face. That's why when you see nurse photos online who are in the trenches, it looks like they fucking fell asleep on their mask for 6 days because the shit is sealed properly to their face. And the vent is there for aiding and breathing. But you won't see them using vents in hospitals for that reason. And you'll use vents for more like things like you're in a workshop with wood and shit, like woodworking shop, and you're venting stuff in the air that way. Or smoke outside, bad atmospheric shit. The N95 doesn't mean anything. It's the vent is the problem. And they banned the vents because it's not filtering on the exhale. This one will, but again, when the person that's just an employee works there, they're not going to be like, oh, you have the fancy Razer mask with the RGB lights and the bi-directional filter. They ain't going to know that shit. They're going to see a vent, they're going to go, nope, the fuck out. So that's a bit of a problem that you're going to have to get over top of. 2 is that they have it ear mounted and not headband. If you see the pictures there, that's not a cloth mask anymore. That is a hefty fucking mask with the dual filters and everything else. You're gonna put that shit around your ears. Your ears are gonna feel like they're getting torn off your fucking face after about a half hour wearing that mask. That's why you see most doctors wearing masks long hours or heavier mask setups where they're wearing dual masks, etc. Headband goes around the back of their head to relieve the pressure from their ears. So I don't know why they went that route after all this expense on the mask. I'm sure they could probably still change that if they wanted to, but they should probably do that because I wouldn't want to wear a mask that heavy coming off my ears. It would be pretty terrible. And then 3, I don't even want to know how much money this mask is going to fucking cost. They're talking about the hopes of having the recharge box because, it has LEDs on it, so we got to recharge shit. So that will also have UV light inside to sanitize the mask. Now, that's only going to sanitize the outside of the mask. So one of the other problems they're running into is, of course, you're going to have to change out those filters, and that's where you can get some money making for Razer. They don't know how long those filters are going to last, but you're going to have to swap them. And whenever you swap them, you aren't going to be buying that shit from Home Depot.
Nope.
You're going to be going to Razer and be like, Razer, I need to swap these filters out. And they'll say, great, that'll be $9.99. And then in like a week's time, your phone app goes off and says, hey, your mask needs new filters again. Damn it! Hey, Razer, I'm gonna need some new filters from you. So it's, conceptually neat idea. I'm debating the execution. And I don't think that it's gonna be useful in a lot of the places where you would want that mask to be useful in. But all the same, at least props for them for, I guess, giving it a shot. Somebody got to stick their neck out and come up with something. Because, if you think about the sheer number of masks that we're burning through right now on a daily basis, it's fucking nuts. Even just here in Nova Scotia, if you're in a hospital-related building, anything operated by the NSHA, if you don't have a surgical mask, if it's cloth that you're coming in with, they make you swap to a surgical mask. So they're handing one of those out to every person that comes through the door. Every single time. And then you think of everyone using the shit at home, going grocery shopping, going outside, and they're either a lot of them are using like Costco bought like surgical masks and shit. And you're thinking
because it's all affordable. This is not affordable.
It's not affordable, but what I'm saying is think about how much we're churning out, right? Like how much waste, like can you imagine the fucking landfill worth of facial masks that the world is burning through right now? Or just even North America. I can't even fathom the number of masks in places like where, especially in like hospitals where you're like on a rotation, you have to change masks as policy every X amount of time. Holy fuck. M comes home from work and they have a new pair of plastic shield glasses every single shift. And they're supposed to throw them out when they're done. It's nuts. So it's crazy. So this is like, obviously in a perfect world, we could go in this direction for the future as well. Because obviously COVID is not going to be the last time this kind of shit's going to happen. So having this kind of like reusable solution is a good idea. It's just maybe we need a little bit of fine tuning on the tweaks and shit. Mr. Black, I have to ask you, given the opportunity, are you wearing a Razer mask? No. No.
There isn't a fucking chance in hell.
I have a better question though, and it's a good segue. Would you buy it if it came from our sponsor, Elgato?
Hey, if it was an Elgato mask,
well then you'd gotta what?
Hey, I'd have to Elgato get one.
That's right.
Not only would it be of the highest quality, but it'd be affordable. Razer, on the other hand, that ain't it. That ain't it. Sorry, Razer. That ain't it. But you know what is it? Elgato. Because I know if I were to get my Elgato mask, I'd be able to change the lighting via my Stream Deck. I'd be able to hook everything up via my Stream Deck.
Actually, you can control it from your phone because they have an app for that.
I could do that too.
So if you're out on the bus and you're feeling you're feeling like you want to change up the game, shit would be on your phone.
I'd be able to do that because you know what? Elgato makes fire products. And you know who doesn't make fire products? Razer. And I've used tons of Razer products over the years.
I didn't expect the man to bury Razer.
Listen, I've been speaking the truth on Razer for a hot minute. Listen, if you're gonna pay PewDiePie millions of dollars a year, a guy that has more money than probably the population of where he's from, and you're gonna have him wear a $3 Razer headset pretending like it's good, and you're gonna be the one that's gonna come out and charge $300 or whatever it is for a mask, that ain't it. That ain't it. But I know it is it. An Elgato key light.
It's lit, Jeff.
It is lit. And it isn't $1.5 million, and it's of quality. You know what else is fire? The Elgato Wave products, the microphones. Also, unlike Go XLR,
how many bridges are we burning today?
Listen,
All of them?
It's not like there was a bridge to burn. They couldn't pay me.
Ah! To be fair, I wouldn't use it either. But
You
that's okay.
couldn't listen. What is it? Telecom or what? What's the company? TC. I don't even know what the name of the company.
I don't even know.
You could not pay me to lie to my community, saying that this is your best quality and affordable option for audio. You can't do it. I'm sorry. But you know what is quality? An Elgato Wave product, because it's affordable and it does what that Go XLR does and more for a fraction of the price. You don't need a console made out of plastic that has 1 million RGB lights on it to make it look like it's worth something with a horrible preamp when you can get a plug-in USB ready-to-go Wave product from Elgato and save yourself hundreds of dollars. I'm not making this up, folks. I've used the products.
It's true. Go XLR is like probably the most overhyped fucking thing that every streamer has on their fucking desk right now. It drives me nuts.
That's because Go XLR, for a lot of these streamers, are sending out this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you can use this.
The streamer starter pack right now is Go XLR with absolutely no fucking cloud lifter directly into a fucking Go XLR, cranked to the max, and they've got the microphone like pointed up into the back of the room somewhere.
That ain't it.
As a Shure SM7B.
If you're using a Shure SM7B,
yeah,
you need a cloud lifter.
Unless you got a fucking god tier preamp.
Seriously,
like your interface costs over $1,000.
Seriously, it's like driving a Ferrari
on regular fuel.
Not
even premium.
And you're not even doing oil changes.
No.
You're just riding it because you think it looks pretty.
You got Canadian Tire fucking tires on a Ferrari running that 85 grade fuel.
That ain't it.
Not even plus.
That ain't it. I'm sorry. That ain't it. You want to know what is it? An Elgato Wave microphone. Yeah, they pay me. Yes. #ad. But I'm telling you, out of what's on the market, Elgato has a way of doing. I don't even know how this has turned into this, but I'm just gonna Elgato. When it comes to capture cards, in terms of affordability and what it's supposed to do, you go and buy an Elgato card. When it comes to lighting, you grab an Elgato lighting. When it comes to getting a green screen, you grab an Elgato green screen. When it comes to USB microphones, if you had to choose, Jeff, should I get an AT 2020?
It ain't 2013 anymore, Jeff.
It ain't it. Now it's go buy a Wave product if they're available. And you want to know a reason why they're hard to get? Because they're good. They work well. And they're affordable. Yes, there are better quality microphones. Yes, there are better quality capture cards. But at the price range and what you as a normal consumer are going to use said things for, you're crazy if you buy anything other than the Wave product or a 4K 60 frame HDR capture card from Elgato. Unless you're at Pixar or unless you're recording music or voiceovers and you need a Neumann like I got. I'm not using a Wave product because I'm recording music and I do voiceovers.
You can probably still pull it off anyway.
Could still use the Wave product. It would require a little bit more post. So hey, you could make that thing sound very similar to this. You really could. If you knew what you were doing. But in terms of plug and play, go grab an Elgato. Go grab an Elgato.
You know what else you should grab, Jeff?
You should. Oh, while you're at it, you should grab NordVPN.
There you go.
Now I'm not as passionate about VPN services as I am my hardware services.
I am passionate about expanding my possibilities to see streaming services, though.
That I am very passionate about, especially since Netflix has announced they're going to have a movie every week, an original in 2021.
That's coming up in the next segment.
And you know what? If you are to live in a certain region, you don't have access to said movies, you get yourself a NordVPN. Link in the description below, www.nordvpn.com/OTT. You get 68% off, bonus month, and with a click of one button. There's no scripts or weird things you got a program put in there. My dad uses NordVPN. It's that easy. All right? And he ain't great with technology, I'll tell you that. He ain't great. He's good at a lot of things. Technology ain't it. If he can use it, you can use it. One click of a button, mask your IP so that you can watch different regions of Netflix, so that you can bypass region block content on the internet, so that you can watch those blocked Fox clips on Twitter
that you just watched on your TV.
If you live in China and you got that great China firewall where they just don't let you touch the internet.
Well, you're probably not watching this right now, but
well, you are if you're using NordVPN. You hear that, China? If you got a friend in China, you need to message them, probably via phone, because they can't use Facebook.
A burner phone,
and let them know to pick up NordVPN because it works in China. You want to watch the podcast? NordVPN if you live in China. Promo code OTT. It's really that simple. And shout outs to everybody that has been picking up a subscription, and shout outs to everybody that has been picking up them Elgato products because they kept the train flowing. So I'm out here selling hard today because I appreciate what they do for the podcast, and they actually have good products. Because let me tell you something, real facts here. I could have gotten us sponsored by several companies over the last couple of years.
No printer.
I could have. There's one company in particular that I could have gotten sponsored.
It wasn't Razer.
It wasn't. No, they ain't ever sponsored me. I'm not shitting you. I had a company that wanted to sponsor me. They were offering $4,000 a month. A lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And I could have pitched in. Listen, I'll do it if you throw in the podcast, slide a little bit over here. But their products are garbage. And I couldn't do it.
Raid Shadow Legends.
No, I like me some Raid Shadow Legends. I like me some Raid Shadow Legends. I like me some Raid Shadow Legends. Don't be shitting on the Raid Shadow Legends, all right? You got to join the clan. What is it? OUTT or something like that. The Fellowship. Hey, listen, I can't plug Raid Shadow Legends here because they ain't paying us.
They're not paying us. Mr. Black's time for
movies and TV.
Oh, let's see what we got this week. According to Kevin Feige, who constitutes about 50% of the news this week, according to Kevin Feige, Deadpool 3 will be, in fact, part of the MCU and still be rated R. That's great news. That's marvelous news. Because PG-13 Deadpool ain't it. Rated R Deadpool. That's the shit. That is it. X-Men. This is again, according to Kevin Feige. X-Men. The reboot plans are still ongoing and being discussed. Which is, what does a Kevin Feige X-Men reboot look like?
Better than every other X-Men movie ever made.
Man, how nice would it have been to have Kevin Feige on when they still had, fucking like Hugh Jackman and all the people that just killed those roles, but then been led by Kevin Feige.
I guarantee you.
Is Hugh Jackman coming back?
Will be back.
Is he going to do some more HGH?
150%.
They're never going to have a camera shot of his legs, just everything from the waist up?
Just everything from the waist up, just veiny, ripped.
Huge traps from just too much like TRT. Just all the shit just pumped through the roof.
Huge Jackman just coming through. That's what's up. I guarantee you Wolverine will be back in some way, shape, or form. He might not lead a franchise, but you will see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in some way, shape, or form. Guaranteed.
I mean, I fucks with X-Men. The X-Men movies are pretty, they're not all hits, but the ones that hit are pretty solid movies. They're good, they're a good one to watch. So if we can get even better versions of X-Men, fuck me right up, Kevin Feige. Make it happen. John Watts is to direct the new, I have 3 news here, Jeff. The new Fantastic Four movie. I believe this is the 4th attempt. That's why I put 3 news in there. The 4th attempt at making anyone give a fuck about the Fantastic Four, because once you fucked up that many times, it's hard to get people excited about the Fantastic Four movies. Every single one of those movies, awful. Which is crazy, because it's not like the property itself is particularly hard to make a movie out of. It's the fucking Fantastic Four. How they've managed to bomb so hard with that so many times is still one of the great mysteries in film today. Obviously, we need to get Kevin Feige on that Fantastic Four. That's the solution to this problem. Maybe that will be it. But for now, we've got John Watts taking the helm. 4th time's a charm for the Fantastic Four.
Why not?
Speaking of 4th time's a charm, Stranger Things Season 4 has got an announced date. It's coming this August. Pop off this August. I'm going to be honest, I watched the first season, I loved it. I haven't watched any more since the first season.
Oh, I watched the first season and I had fallen asleep at least for 3 of those episodes.
There you go.
I just can't gel with Stranger Things. I think aesthetically it's
that was
beautiful.
it. Like Stranger Things was like 80% of that show was the aesthetic. Not that it was poorly acted or anything. In fact, most of the actors in it did it well, but just like the show wasn't like.
Yeah, listen, maybe one day I'll sit down and I'll binge it and I'm sure I'll find some enjoyment in it, but with so much TV out, man, in such a little bit of time, sometimes I wish I had more time in the day to enjoy some of these shows and but when you only got so much time in a run of a day, you gotta choose your shows and your movies that you watch wisely. Stranger Things just wasn't that thing that just got me wanting to watch it over the vast majority of other stuff. It just didn't do it for me. I know Kayla continued to watch it. I don't know if she's seen all the seasons, but I know she at least watched season 2. But
yeah. Well, season 4 is coming. It's gonna be doing well enough for the 4th fucking season. Somebody's watching. And then, as you mentioned, towards the tail end of that sellout, Netflix is making good on their basically 1 movie a week for 2021. Some of that stuff, actually a lot of that stuff, is in-house Netflix movies, and a couple are like major budget films. One, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a heist film, and it has like fucking The Rock and like 3 or 4 other major names in that film. Oh my God, what's the name of it? I read
Gal Gadot and
it was Gal Gadot
and
Dwayne
The Rock Johnson and
there's more
Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. What a fucking random combo of people that is. You can already tell who's going to be playing what kind of role in that. But all the same, I'll watch it. And then,
there's all kinds of movies coming out.
Loads of movies. Some of them are acquired, but a lot of them are in-house Netflix stuff. And lots to watch. So there won't
even
be
had
a lot
Leonardo
of downtime.
DiCaprio at the end of that, at the end of the.
That's true.
They even got Leo in a movie.
Is that a Netflix special?
It's a Netflix movie.
That's why,
so-
yeah, with Leo. Damn.
Yeah.
They done
Did you
hit
watch
the top of
trailer?
the... No, I didn't see the trailer. No.
Oh shit! If
No.
they did a teaser trailer for
Oh,
the
did they?
lineup of movies, and
That
they've
didn't even...
got
I
almost-
didn't even see that shit on my timeline or anything.
they've got like almost every movie star you can think of in these movies.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Do they have Bruce Willis who refused to wear a mask in a grocery store the other day?
No, I don't think I didn't see Bruce Willis anyway.
That motherfucker said, "Do you know who I am?" And God bless the grocery store clerk who just said, "Yes, now put on your mask."
I would have said, I forgot because I haven't seen you in anything worthy in a decade.
Oh shit. What
Yes,
a fucking...
now put on a mask.
What a fucking hero. Just like, who pulled... you've fallen off when you've got to pull the line, "Do you know who I am?" That's
I
when
wish
you...
I didn't. That's what I would have said.
That was just fucking... My God, what an absolute... And the crazy thing is he had a fucking like a bandana around his neck. Looking some sort of like fucking shitty washed up 90s rock star. All he had to do was just take that and just... over the face. Done. And instead he was like, "Do you know who I am? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!" Anyway. Last up. Chris Evans, who most people would have thought was done and dusted with Captain America, especially given how things went in Endgame. Apparently he's in talks to reprise his role as Captain America in the MCU.
Of course.
Color me fucking shocked, Jeff.
And you know who else is going to come back?
Who's
Robert Downey Jr.
that? Yeah.
Iron Man.
Endgame 3.
Come on. Nobody really dies in the MCU.
No.
And if they do, there will just be an alternate universe where
That's
they
right.
can come back as a different version of that character with different upbringings and different things have happened to them. And so, there's a new...
Ooh.
They ain't going nowhere.
Ooh. Robert Downey about to be 90 years old doing fucking Iron Man movies
Making
and shit.
50 million a movie or some shit.
And that's it. I don't know if you had anything else. We haven't watched anything in the last week because M's been working almost daily, so we haven't had any time to watch much. You see anything on your end this week?
We just watched Cobra Kai, and that's
Okay.
it. We finished that season. It's good.
Nice. Good ending to that season.
Say what?
Good ending to that season.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
They left it open. It's for season 4, so
Of course.
I think they're starting to film that now. Other than that, I think tonight we're gonna try and finish Mandalorian season 2. Like we got 2 episodes left.
Oh, right. You're still picking away at that.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we started watching, I like Cobra Kai more than Mandalorian.
Ah, wow. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Mandalorian. I think this Mandalorian season's way better than the first one, but there's just something lighthearted and fun and nostalgic about Cobra Kai that puts a smile on my face and is not serious. It's just mindless escape. And with no matter how good Star Wars is, I'm in this mindset of like I'm judging it. I'm like waiting for the other shoe to fall type thing. I'm like I can't enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it because I've been burned so much. Not saying that this isn't good because I think this Mandalorian season is the best thing that Star Wars has come out with in like the last since Rogue One. Like I haven't seen Star Wars this good in a while.
Yeah.
So good on it.
That season's this second season of Mandalorian, having watched it all, this shit's so much better.
Yeah.
Than the first season.
But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. And Cobra Kai is something that Kayla and I both like really like. And Kayla really likes Star Wars stuff. She likes Mandalorian a lot. I think Mandalorian really has captured the female.
It's the fucking Grogu
audience.
shit, bro.
And I know there's tons of females that love Star Wars, like even before.
Yeah, no, this is pulling people that don't even care about Star Wars. And you know what?
Yeah.
I swear to fuck, bro. This is the reason talked about Shady with this, because Shady is literally fucking goddamn obsessed with Grogu.
Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Who?
Grogu is his name.
Oh, yeah.
Obsessed with that shit. She wants Grogu all over her life, every wallpaper, fucking Grogu teacups, fucking Grogu-themed bathroom mats, anything she can get her hands on, Grogu. Everything Grogu. And that is representative of like every fucking woman I know that has watched that show. And you know what it is? It's because it's a fucking baby, and they made it have actual human baby sounds. And
I hate that.
you cannot convince me otherwise that they didn't make that play specifically to get the fuck. And this is gonna sound sexist as shit, but I swear to fuck, they're doing that shit to play with female fucking hormones and get your shit fucking attached to that baby Yoda. And that's like, because, like, I mean, what other reason do you give Baby Yoda real human baby noises?
It's weird every time. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly. There's no other reason. That is 100%. They did that shit intentionally. Well, we already knew it was to sell as many fucking, like, toys as possible. But that shit for the women and why you're seeing so much of it is for that. That is it. They are fucking sciencing the shit out of them. And if you're a woman watching the shit and you weren't already a Star Wars fan, you done got had.
They got you.
You got fleeced.
You got fleeced hard.
Got fucking fleeced.
Other than that, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, we haven't watched anything. I haven't got a chance to watch the new Nick Cage thing. That popped last week sometime. The history of swear words or whatever, that show that he's doing. I definitely want to watch that and just see how crazy Nick Cage is in that shit. And then, yeah, other than that, yeah, haven't seen anything. So, with that being said, it's time for
tech support.
At least 7 of you managed to catch the fact that I put this up. I do apologize. I forgot to do it before the podcast. Tech support. Patreon.com/lagtv. It's the place to go if you want to financially support this podcast. If you made it this far into the podcast, odds are you're probably somebody who is considered or already doing so right now. But hey, for $10 or more a month, you get a couple of goodies. One of those things is being able to ask us questions each and every week on a post that I put up, usually before the podcast, but because I'm an asshole this week and I forgot about it, just 23 minutes ago. But hey, we got some questions in, so let's get to them. Mark Furry asks, when's the last time you took a hit to the boys? I'm assuming he means your balls. I was feeding my son his bedtime bottle yesterday and his hand just swung back and punched me. Rip testicles.
Jeez.
That's M all the fucking time in bed. Like M likes to climb me like a fucking tree in bed, like, cause she's like so small compared to me. So she'll, like, when you're doing like the bed cuddling shit, and she'll wrap her leg like over top of my leg and like fucking encompass me, which is like, I don't know, 6 inches of my body. But when she like flips the foot over, it's either like her knee, and then she doesn't even care where her leg is, and she'll be moving her knee or her leg around, and her knee will fucking hit me in the balls, or her heel will hit me in the fucking balls, or her hands will hit me in the balls. And I'm like, I swear to God, so every time she does it, I like knee-jerk reaction. If she's near me in bed, I'm like fucking like covering my dick and balls up to protect them. Cause like when she sometimes, or she gets out to go to the washroom, she'll crawl over top of me to get out of the bed, because our bed is like crammed up against, like, she doesn't have a lot of room on her side. So she'll climb over top of me to get out of the bed to go to the washroom. And a lot of times she'll be climbing out of bed, and on the way over, clip me in the fucking balls, like every fucking time. It's uncanny. So I've just been, covering up every time. And now it's a joke. Like, whenever she's getting back in bed, she'd be like, cover up!
Oh, no.
So I can cover up. So I've taken a few shots in the last while. It's not been bad recently, but there was a couple of weeks specifically where I was getting fucking battered, and I was like, look, dear, I only got one good fucking testicle left, and you're beating the shit out of it. So we need to fucking find a way. If you want children, we're gonna need to find a way to claw that back a little bit. We're gonna be out the game. Keep that shit up.
No, that ain't flying for me. Like, listen. We can have physical contact before sleep, but during sleep.
Oh no, if I'm sleeping, she doesn't, she goes around. Yeah, she goes around. No, this is before bed. She'll crawl over, yeah.
Okay. Say, you got your side, I got my side.
Oh, no.
I don't need you hanging on me. I don't need none of that shit. Cause we actually, it gets to the point where we actually, if we want to snuggle something, we basically are snuggling a pillow. Cause the only time I ever want to snuggle is like first thing in the morning, where I'm like waking up, and it's just like, you got 15, 20 minutes before you got to get up. Then it's like time to spoon. And like,
I'm the opposite of that. When I wake up, I don't want any, but M is like you, right?
Yeah.
And she's like touching my face and shit, and I'm not awake yet, and I'm like internally going,
nah. Kayla knows not to go anywhere. Don't touch my face. Don't be all in my face. It's like, listen, you can spoon me or I can spoon you. And it's got to be like when we wake up in the morning, sometimes we'll fall asleep. Kind of, I'll be spooning. We'll watch TV and I'll like fall asleep. But then like the moment the TV goes off, it's like we like part in like the Red Sea. We got that king size bed. You're on your side. I'm on my side. It's time for sleeps. All right. You want to get physical. We fucking before we go to sleep. All right. And then that's the show. Between now and then, the less you touch me, the better. Because I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying, because if I wake up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning to you punching me by accident the wrong way or hitting me or whatever, I'm up for like an hour. I ain't having it. Because that fucked my shit right up. Yeah. And there are some times where like the other night, or this is last night, Kayla's like tossing and turning. I'm like, oh my fuck. Because you like wake up and you're like, and then in the morning she wakes up, she's like, man, I had a horrible sleep. And I look at her, I go, yeah, so did I. I wonder why. Because you
rub it in.
So I had a horrible sleep. So that's So
ain't it crazy that even in a king size bed, that shit ain't? I mean, that's why people sometimes just sleep different beds, man. Like, because eventually, like, if you can't rein that shit in.
Yeah,
I sleep most nights like a fucking log. Like I fall asleep and I barely move, and I'm in one tiny little spot. M is 3.5 feet tall, and she runs marathons in bed, and she'll find a way. Like, I'll wake up in the morning, and I have a California king, and my ass is like hanging half off the fucking bed. I got no blankets left. I'm just half on the fucking side of the bed. I'll wake up, and she's like right up against my back, and I'm like, I turn over like, can I get some room, please? And she'd be like, what are you talking about room? And I'll be like, look, and she'll look over her side of the bed, and there's like 6 feet.
Yeah, it's just like I could run track on that. What I do is when Kayla's doing that, I just nudge her. Like I don't hit her, but I'm like, and as soon as I do that, she won't even be awake,
but
she'll
roll.
Like, she'll just roll like subconsciously. She's like, oh, that's Jeff telling me I'm too far. And then she just roll over. And I'm like, yeah, thank God. So, yeah. As for me having my balls smashed, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I really hurt my nuts. I mean, I maybe like a month and a bit ago, I like got into the car a little too quick and I like sat on like part of my nut.
That's the word. If your nuts get real, like, there's like 2 women watching this shit right now. But if your nuts get real warm, you know, their natural inclination is they want to cool down, so they drop from your body to get away from the body heat. And so it's like you got old man nuts, even though you don't, but they hang a little low. And if you're not wearing like boxer briefs or something to keep that shit in check, you can legitimately run the risk of sitting on your own fucking balls.
I did that. I was commando. I had sweats. I was just running to Tim Hortons to grab a coffee.
You're asking for problems.
I jumped in too fast, and I clipped about half my right ball. Was not a good feeling. I had an achy feeling for about 3 hours. Was not good. You know, here's some education, ladies. All right, this is exactly what Adam's saying. All right, now the male balls, the testicles. All right, the sack. All right, in its normal state. When it's warm, it's you know, it hangs, it droops, right? True. I mean, I don't know what every ball is like, but
usually one more than the other.
Yes, of course. You got one that droops a little bit more than the other. Now, ladies, most of the time when you're seeing men's balls, it's usually probably during sex. And during sex,
they tighten right up.
They get tight like a tennis ball. Fucking balls are tight. Like, yeah. To the point where it's like you can see every vein and imperfection of your actual testes.
That's like pressing the sport button in a car.
Exactly. Tighten right up. She's ready to go. But when you're in comfort zone, it loosens up. It's like,
that's the economy mode in the car. You press the
economy mode. You know, but during sex, you know, as you're sexing, it gets progressively get more tighter and tighter until they explode.
Yep.
And so you know, I wasn't tight at all, and I sat down, and you know, I may have sat on part of my nut.
That's not good. It
happened.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
I did that sitting on the toilet one in the summer, and there's no cushion on the toilet.
Oh man. Ouch.
And I was half asleep because I was in bed, so warm, right? Summertime, bed, warm. Get up to go to the washroom, sat down, and like when you're asleep, you kind of sit down hard because your body ain't fucking awake. It's kind of like when you first get out of bed and you walk drunk because your body isn't even fucking awake yet, and your legs are all fucked up and shit. So it's like that. I get down the hallway and I go to sit on the toilet, and I went down drunk and slow, bro. I haven't sat up faster in my entire fucking life. I came off of that toilet like a fucking rocket. Like there was a fucking rocket up my ass, and I didn't sit back down. I can tell you that much. We got a couple more questions come in since we answered that beauty. Let's see. Logan asks, what American fast food chain do you wish we had here in Canada? I'm not a fast food chain guy, so it's kind of like whatever to me. Like we got Five Guys here now. So that was like one that most people would probably have mentioned as a standard fare for like a burger joint.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fast food guy in that kind of way.
I mean, if we had Shake Shack, I know that I think that there's Shake Shack in like Toronto or
probably
maybe some of the other bigger cities. I don't know. Maybe not. I have no idea. But yeah, I would say Shake Shack because we do have Five Guys, and I don't want to admit this, but over these renovations that I've had
some Five Guys.
I've had Five Guys about 5 times.
There you go.
In about a 2-week period. So I'm not overly proud about that, but it is delicious and it tastes just like anywhere.
Bro, when COVID went back down, Em and I have been crushing ice caps. And not any ice caps, the premium that's like 50% whipped cream.
Do you get it made with chocolate milk instead?
We get the mocha, which is like the chocolate coffee mix. We've been fucking ourselves up on that. Yeah, probably about like a small is probably like 700 calories of literally nothing but empty bullshit, and just crushing the shit. She gets off work and we're driving home. She looks at me. She's like, "Love," and I said, "Don't worry,
we're going.
I'm already turning in the fucking corner."
Don't even have to say nothing. Listen, you'll know you found the right one.
You don't have to say anything.
You don't have when it comes to food, right? So like the other night, I was coming back from the property. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I call up Donair Place and I grab a couple Donairs. Kayla's in the shower, right? I'm sitting at the table and I'm stuffing my face with Donair, and I know she's unlikely have eaten anything since 5 o'clock. And if she ate much, it probably wasn't much of anything great. So I decided I was, got to grab her Donair. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got a case of beer too. So she comes out and she sees me eating this Donair, and she goes, in her face, she's like, "What are you eating?" And I'm like, "Donair." She's like, "Oh," and I said, all I said was, I just pointed over there. I said, "Yeah, yours is over there on the counter." You just watched her face go from like, yes, you know me too well. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to know when your significant other, when you know when to get the food, what food to get, and you're telepathically on that. Well, you don't even have to ask.
You just know.
You just know.
You know.
And when you know, and it happens, it's guaranteed laid. It's guaranteed. Listen, some ladies need to be told, "You're doing a great job. I love you. How's your day?"
That positive reinforcement.
That positive. Some guys need it. Some guys need to hear, "Oh man, your dick is so big."
It's true.
Oh,
I need to hear that as often as humanly possible, Jeff. Personally.
You're working so hard.
That's right.
I appreciate you. If you're not feeling like saying any of those things to your significant other for whatever reason, just bring home the food they love at the right time. And you basically say all of those things
with food.
With food.
And we all know everything's better with food.
Everything is better with food.
Except for when you're on a beach. I gotta be real. I fuck eating on a beach because the sand always finds a way into your food.
I ain't feeling it.
You only eat so many sandwiches on a beach before you realize that you're just eating 50% sand. And look, you haven't eaten. Look, bro, that's totally tangent, but the shit's fucked up. You got sandwiches in zip packs. You take a sandwich out, the sand has somehow still managed to hit the fucking sandwich before you put it in your mouth. It's magic. It ain't right. J. Kim asks, after all you can eat sushi, you guys are, this might be one of them, I didn't even read this question fully, but now we're committed now. This is a fucking wild, stupid question. After all you can eat sushi, you guys are walking to your car, and all of a sudden, Husky StarCraft, HD StarCraft, Idra, and White corner you guys in an alleyway for a fight. It's a, what is this, a 1, 2, 3, a 4-on-2. How would you guys fight this fight? All right, look. I'll get out the way first. We all know that White has special tactics. He's got to go first.
He's got to go.
You got to get him out the game as soon as possible.
You want him quick.
You got to.
We're gonna lose.
He's the only one with special tactics, and you get him out the game, your odds are already going through the roof just by getting rid of him. Husky, I'm gonna just threaten to light his hair on fire. That'll be enough to get him the fuck out the way. We don't have to worry about it. If that doesn't work, I'll threaten to make him actually produce StarCraft content. That'll also get him the fuck out the way. No problems whatsoever. Which is great, because if we got in a fight, he doesn't actually have a chin to hit, so it would be difficult. So we gotta find other ways to get Husky out of the fucking way. I can't fight HD StarCraft. The guy was a lovable son of a bitch. I will literally just let him punch me. I'm pretty sure I can survive it, so I will let him do whatever he wants. Tire himself out.
Gives up.
He'll just tire himself out. Just, you go, I can't hit you, bro. I can't hit you. And Idra? Man, we all know Idra not gonna show up for anything that isn't on his own fucking idea. So it ain't his idea to show up for this part. He ain't even there. Idra got jacked towards the end of his career, though, so that shit might be scary. That dude, like everyone else on the team, it was like the early days when the team was making lots of money, like esports teams, and they'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna hire a fucking gym coach or some shit," and then everyone got juiced, and Idra was getting juiced. He might be scary. He's like a little feral dog.
I think it was like the whole EG thing. Like, they really started to promote the whole like getting, being in shape.
We're gamers, but we have In Control, and he can bench press a car, so we should all be able to do something. And they all got in the gym together, and like they were like some of the first to get jacked. That's how I do. You got to get rid of Idra first. Not Idra. You got to get rid of fucking White first. That is by far the most important part of that whole scheme. Because he's got the special tactics and he'll fuck your shit up.
I can't outdo what Adam said.
I know I went in deep on Husky there, but I mean the man is a god.
On Husky,
he's a fucking meme, bro. He's a fucking meme.
You didn't go deep on him at all.
Dapbeard asks, what's a thought or a video or an incident that lives in your head rent-free?
Say that one more time.
What is a thought or a video or incident that lives in your head rent-free?
Thought, video, or incident that lives in my head rent-free. I don't know. There's not much. Are we talking about like something that bugs you?
It could be bug. It could be like a positive thing. Like living in your head rent-free doesn't necessarily just mean it's negative.
Jeez. I don't know. I really don't know. Rent-free.
Rent-free in my mind. I'm trying to get like a variety of some shit here. Oh, Dappier's specifying something specifically negative. Oh, okay, something that gets you mad just thinking about it. Oh, okay. 71 million people still support Trump. That gets me legitimately angry every day. And I ain't even playing. Like, hot rage. And not because of the people, but because of the implication of what it would take to try and correct the course of having 71 million people witness somebody do what he does, say then 30 seconds after he didn't do it, and all of them, even though they just witnessed him do it, go, yeah, you're right, you didn't do that. That shit makes me fucking white hot and angry. So that's definitely lives free, rent free in my mind. You know, they've got more fucking soldiers in the Capitol building right now than they do in Afghanistan. All right, that shit rent free in my mind. It's fucking wild, bro. Wild. So that kind of shit.
I don't know, man. It's a tough question for me to answer because there's not really a lot that I let fester in my mind. I don't know. I really don't know.
What else? There's got to be something else.
League of Legends, yeah, but I don't think
League of Legends.
League of Legends like that, dude. I'm not shitting you guys. There isn't a lot. If there's something that bugs me, I just let it go, or I just zone it out. There isn't something that I like that I let fester or live rent free. Like there's certain things that'll bug me for a little bit, but it isn't like an everyday thing. You know, like I don't.
It's usually for me. It's usually any kind of like specific injustice kind of thing drives me fucking wild. Like if it's real obvious, like what I just said.
Yeah.
But like most other things that happen to me or whatever, I'm not somebody that sits on it for fucking years or some shit. I don't ruminate on shit forever and ever. So, yeah, no, but politically, I mean, right now, I can't, I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit legitimately makes me fucking angry. Like, for real, it makes me upset. It's just nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me angry too, but like, I don't think about it enough or consume myself with it to be angry.
Yeah, you know I don't sit down here and like, I'm not like doing work and then I'm like find myself being angry about it. It's just, it's something that definitely doesn't take anything to get me upset about. I walk upstairs and mom and dad got fucking news on and I see 13 seconds of fucking news, like just getting a cup out of the cupboard and I'm already there. I'm already fucking lit up.
I won't even put it on. I won't even put the news on. It just won't. It just doesn't go on in my house.
Yeah. Shit's crazy. Oh, we got two good ones to end on here. How would you, Nick Winters asks, how would you design your perfect sushi roll? Well, for me, it's easy, because it wouldn't be a roll.
Salmon nigiri.
It's salmon nigiri, or other forms of nigiri.
Yeah.
But usually salmon or tuna, and then get that roll shit the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm eating a roll, it would be like salmon avocado. Like, that's a good roll, but...
If it has to be a roll, it's still probably going to have salmon in it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to have avocado as well, and some sort of crunch factor. You know, they'll have like a little crunch action going on or some shit. But not most of the, and that is probably our roll already. Like there's spicy tuna rolls and shit like that where it's kind of like they've got the crispy and the tuna and the whatnot. But I don't fucks with rolls normally. And then the last one, MD asks, what's the first job you ever wanted to do when you were growing up?
Oh, man. Probably... That's a good question.
I'm trying to think of when I was really young, what it was that I was trying to like latch on to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I asked my parents, they would be able to tell me an answer that's probably different than the one I would think of. From when I can remember, I either wanted to be a movie director or I wanted to be a firefighter. It was one of the two. So like, I might have been 12 years old, 13 years old. But I'm sure if I asked my parents, maybe they would tell me something different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I gotta be honest, I don't know if I actually had like one of those stereotypical when you were young, wanna be this when you grow up things. Like I didn't latch on to like, the typical, like you were talking about, like maybe a firefighter or, policeman or doctor or whatever, like the usual suspects that like kids will like for whatever reason latch on to.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any of that shit. The earliest I can think of was I wanted to work in gaming in some capacity when I was like fucking 13 years old. I didn't know what it was going to be. I just knew I wanted to work.
Well, you're here now, Adam. Your dream came true.
My dream came true, and I'm in my mother's basement. Shit, that worked out well, didn't it? Fuck. What a career choice. Going bald in my mom's basement, I fucking killed that one, didn't I? Let's go. But yeah, no, that was probably the first thing I can think of that.
Hey, we didn't say that it was going to be lucrative, Adam.
No, but it happened.
Tons of people out there that want to be teachers, but they know
it's true.
You're going to make dog shit money.
It's dog shit money for sure. That's actually not that bad. I'm on. It's not that fucking bad. That's the last question, Jeff.
All right.
That's how we roll. I need to lift a weight. Bro, every week I see myself on the webcam. I don't look in the mirror. I every week on the podcast, this is like the only time I see myself. Bro, I'm turning into like some sort of like fucking scarecrow. I need to lift a weight. I need to eat some food. Like I need to put the fucking ice cap down.
I'm the opposite. I need to like I need to not eat as much junk food and just like
put the Five Guys down.
Five Guys down. On the treadmill. I'm not getting any smaller. You get married, Adam, and you have kids, and then you start eating for convenience and not necessarily eating for fucking.
Bro, I'm eating for convenience and I don't even have kids yet.
Wait. You just wait.
Bro.
When time goes to absolute shit.
Well, my eating for convenience doesn't necessarily mean eating junk food. My eating for convenience means I'm not eating. I just skip the meal altogether. Like I don't even have the time to like go upstairs and find some shit. This is like our fridges are packed with food. Like I'm just not gonna eat. I'm gonna work instead. I'm just gonna be a degenerate and just not eat. And that's what I'm gonna go do right after this. Actually, I'm gonna try and eat. And then take M to work and do it all again tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by for another Tech the Alpha podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys next week for some more gaming news, dick analogies, and probably a husky apology. But we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we won't get one of those. But you'll get dick analogies.
Dick analogies for sure. For sure. And maybe some more Razer talk. Until then, have a good one. Peace.
Peace.